Hello and welcome all and everybody. I'm live on TikTok to try and give you guys some live readings for what you might want to know for the new year. So if there's a specific question, just go ahead and shout it out. I have here the first card, Moon in Pisces. Beware of indulging in negative and depressive tendencies. This card definitely is letting you know, like, don't be in your feelings too much. Like, you want to acknowledge if something's bothering you, step away from that space, step away from that person. Always make sure that you are on your guard and have your charms ready and have everything mentally ready to go. Please do not engage in depressive actions or depressive people. Remove yourself from toxic environments. That is definitely a New Year's resolution that everybody can get behind, okay? Secondly, I have the moon. Now is the more powerful time to set long-term goals and seeds for the future, especially with it being the new year. You definitely want to take advantage of this. You know, with the advantages of planning the moon, you also have the calendar. If you don't have a Monday through Friday journal or a calendar that you can purchase from the dollar store or maybe buy something cute on Amazon or from a boutique shop that you really like that can keep you inspired and keep you focused, set goals for yourself. If there's a YouTuber that you really like, you know, maybe write down their username and make sure to go check them out once a month. If there's someone on TikTok you really enjoy, maybe make a point to review their contents. If you're watching this, you like psychic conventions, like I have a few this month. So on Solstice Psychic Readings, you can go to my live tab and see where I'll be, but you can go see your favorite tarot card readers live. You can go to a convention, you can go to a crystal shop and see what little motivation or crystal shop. Sometimes they have tarot card readers, sometimes they have Reiki, sometimes they have group cleansing classes, and that will definitely help keep you motivated. But again, just stay on the planning train, make sure you keep yourself energized, make plans spiritually, as well as, you know, clocking into your actual job 9 to 5. Let's see. Issues surrounding health and exercise may continue to the fore, so focus on your physical well-being. Of course, with everything going on in the world, this is actually a good time for me to deliver my prediction that between 2023 and 2027, there will be another wave of plague. There will be more illnesses coming, and this is because of a planetary conjunction that is happening. It has historically overlapped with Spanish flu and polio. So in 2023 to 2027, there was another wave of separate illnesses that are coming through that will definitely take a toll on us and will take a toll on our loved ones, and people will pass away. But it is just something to bear in mind. You know, death is a part of our everyday life. It is not going away. It is only going to stay with us. Death does not go anywhere. But I want to explain to you that your health, despite my prediction, is the most important. So make sure you are eating well. Maybe take the time to cut out flesh from your diet at least once a week. You know, maybe do a meatless Monday. Check out a Groupon code and see what vegan groups are getting together, or yoga, or go for walks. Maybe take that time to actually set a time to wake up so that you can have time for your meditation and your breakfast and go for a walk, even on your days off. You know, sleeping in is not something that I recommend. I don't recommend sleeping in for even people. Buddhism does not recommend sleeping in. You know, the person who sleeps in is lazy. Essentially, if you're not awake by a specific time, let's say 10 a.m., your day is gone. All your motivation to do your planning, your breakfast, your hygiene, your water intake. If you wake up and you haven't drank a glass of water in the first hour of your being awake, I'm sorry, but your health is not your priority. Your phone and your TV, and besides having a newborn, I can't really think of a reason why anyone would get up and not take care of themselves. You know, you want to be clean, you need to provide for your household. Drinking water is the foundation. Case in point, but your health is certainly most important at this point. So please don't take that for granted. Next, I have spend time with family or helping others and avoid situations that can drain you. We already talked about this with the depression, right? We want to make sure that any depressive episodes that are going to trigger us, we are going to stay away from them. We are also going to take time for family and friends that may not be blood related, but we definitely want to make sure that we are also taking the time to acknowledge them in our presence and our prayers, and also with, you know, a phone call or a text message. Can we meet for coffee? Even if it's once a month, maybe once every other month. Just people want to know that they're being appreciated, that they're being acknowledged, that people are looking for, that they're being sought out. Does that make sense? People want to know that they're loved. Okay, it's an important time to guard against being self-centered or over-opinionated or pushy. If this resonates with you, maybe you are being too selfish, But again, I think self-preservation is very important and is severely lacking. Of course, some people, they are going to be more selfish than others. So like, for example, I explain to people in my marriage, I put myself first because I can't pour from an empty cup. So if you can't pour from an empty cup, how can you be a supportive partner if you yourself are not fulfilled? That goes back to the old adage, correct? Those are a few ideas and options that I have laid out here from these cards. And what I want to do is go forward and ask my pendulum a few questions and see what else is happening, okay? This one. This is the one I want. So I'm going to calibrate the pendulum over these cards and see what messages come through. I do see a few questions in here. Some people are just saying hello, and so is the pendulum. There it goes. All right. Okay, let's see. I want to know, pendulum, should we... Okay, there it is. It's swinging pretty hard, so let's go ahead and make sure that we're getting the right readings. I would like to know if in 2023 we should start that business. And I'm getting a resounding and very hard yes. When you are starting your business, you're being cautioned, of course, to definitely take the time to look through your paperwork, obviously. But when you are starting a business, you always want to make sure that you're doing your paperwork, you have your EIN, you have your website, your tax forms all set up. That is very important. People want to see that you did your homework and that your website is flowing, okay? All right, so that answers that question. Thank you so much for sending me that chat. Let's go ahead and continue with the wolf. Beware of letting your wilder instincts spit out of control. Sometimes following your gut is and will always be a great thing to self-preservation. That's always going to be a wonderful thing. But we want to make sure that it's not overruling logic, timing, and of course, being a parent and running your household should be first on your priority at all times, right? If that is what you do, but we want to make sure that, instinct is not taking over absolutely every part of our life. Okay, make time to focus on your own spiritual well-being and connect with the metaphysical world around you. Again, this goes back to spiritual baths, incense, candles. I purchased some crystals this weekend. Any type of new spiritual setting, and I will even say it's not even divination. It could just be the color of a room. It could be the color of your bed sheets. I've heard some interesting color theory that the color of your blankets determines your chakra for the day or for the next few months. I wonder if I don't know if that's a thing, but I just want to explain your daily rituals, your daily routines, drinking water, waking up on time, having a calendar, not sleeping in, things like that will help keep you metaphysically ready and prepared for whatever your messages are going to be. It could be through me, through any other tarot card reader, another spiritual person that you are trusting, but that's definitely going to be something that will help you. All right, let's see. Hair. Use an auspicious time. Okay, auspicious time for new beginnings. Be cautious. Think. Don't just jump into things. If you are starting a new job or getting new roommates or moving to a new town, you may find that it will be rapid turnover, and you should not be disappointed in yourself. Just simply know that that is the time for a change, and it was time to change more than once in a row. Okay? When you are going through your changes, it's also important that you learn the lesson. Don't just leave and skedaddle off into the distance. It's important that you internalize the lessons that you needed to learn at that time. The frog, the path has been cleared for you to change and anything that may have been previously unchangeable. And the frog has many life cycles. Think about all the metamorphoses that the frog has to do. This perfectly marries with what I just said. You want to make sure that you are able to be flexible enough to flow with the changes and adapt and thrive. That's the point. You want to be able to thrive in this new environment that you're being thrown into. Work, household, children, roommates, whatever it might be. You want to be adaptable. You want to be able to thrive. And I want that for you as well. Let's go ahead and look at this next card. Time is ripe for seeking new opportunities. Obviously, with it being the new year, these two marry perfectly. Of course, the time is right for new opportunities because it is the new year. Everyone's starting fresh. Everyone's looking for that second job or starting that side hustle, taking their business to the next level. And what we need to see is some follow through here. I mentioned earlier that I'd like to see some people follow through with purchasing that calendar, getting that journal Monday through Friday, waking up on time, even on your days off, wake up on time, drink some water, go for a walk. You can take a nap later in the day, but still, sleeping in may not be for you. I want to see some discipline. I want to see some structure, and I think you all will benefit from that as well. Let's go ahead and move into the next section. The cow is a beginning or even a new life, maybe blooming. This makes perfect sense, all right? So with this energy, what we can see with the cow is that when we are going through our metamorphoses, we are being assertive, bullheaded, right? Think about that. You're determined, but you have to have your goals. You have to have them written down. If you don't have a journal, I don't know what to say. I think we can definitely make sure that we are being steadfast in what we are doing, making sure that we are focused on the game. When you have your ideas written down in your book, in your journal, on your calendar, it will make it easier in 3 months from now, 6 months from now, even if you're feeling down, to look back like, wow, I was feeling so good at this time. I don't know what happened. My energy was so high. And then you're going to reflect like, oh man, all this bullshit happened to me. And then I got demotivated. Write it down. Reflect on yourself. You don't have to hold anyone. You're not accountable to me. I'm just here to deliver the message. You're accountable to your own self, but I want you to be prepared, okay? And I want you to be positive, and I want you to be strong. I want you to be independent and indestructible whenever I do these readings. Waxing moon. Now is a good time to focus on achieving your goals and your own personal goals, okay? Wow. So when you're building your wealth, when you're building your mentality, when you're building that mental strength to move forward, you are cultivating something stronger for tomorrow and for next year and for next month. And it's not for anyone to see or to reflect on, for other people to comment on. It is only for you. So when I do have cards like this, I'd like to see some reward for yourself. You know, I want to see you know that you did work hard for these things and that you do deserve it. The owl, a crisis will allow you to look into yourself and to make an important revelation. I just had this happen to me. My mother passed. But again, in times of crisis, this brings out the strength in us. It doesn't necessarily make us weak. It makes us stronger. So instead of giving thoughts and prayers to people when something bad happens and writing thoughts and prayers, literally, you need to be saying, I give you strength. Because strength is what is needed through these times. I always say that to people in writing whenever someone passes away or if they're going through something. My comment in a text is, I give you strength. I'm not giving you thoughts and prayers. That's for don't let me get religious on here. But it's not something that I'm going to give you because I know that's not useful. Thoughts and prayers aren't useful. Strength is what is needed. And that's what this card is saying. Next, we have the moon. Let go of that which causes you inner turmoil. And now is the time for casting away emotions that no longer serve you. This is the waning moon. I 100% agree with this. I think we all can. You have to cleanse the board. People had until 11:59 yesterday evening to fuck with you. So whatever they had to say, they needed to say it then. The time is past. That time is over. So whatever they needed to say to you, they had until 11:59 yesterday to say it. They had until 11:59 yesterday to implement their strategy. You are over the bullshit. And I hope that people are not living in abusive homes and in abusive relationships, because this is bullshit. No one deserves this. You 100% deserve better than this. And I always love pulling this card for people because it is exemplary of the exact attitude of what I just said. I want you to be independent and indestructible. Nothing in between. Aquarius. The time is right for celebrating life. Make the most of parties, gatherings, and other social opportunities. The holidays are nearly just past us here in the United States, but again, camaraderie, getting together, sharing a glass, sharing food with people, you know, something about that is fulfilling. I definitely recommend, if there's people you love and haven't seen, maybe reach out to them, have a cup of coffee, go out maybe once a month, every other month, and see how that feels to you. Let me know if that sounds right, because there's so many people that you haven't seen, and maybe you only see them twice a year at a wedding and at a funeral, but maybe there's time to make for other people besides tragedy and heartbreak. Maybe we need to take time for people in the daily and the mundane. Maybe we need to open spaces where we have weekday dinner parties for just a few people on a Thursday. Maybe there's something to that, where maybe every other week we have somebody over for dinner. And there's space for that, because this card is asking us to be more fruitful and to be in the energy of Dionysus and to pour from the star, right? That's what this is. The next card is half to full moon. Embracing high levels of motivation and energy will bring you feelings of empowerment and satisfaction. I'll say that again. Embracing high levels of motivation and energy will bring feelings of empowerment and satisfaction. I see some people downloading apps, like daily affirmation apps, or purchasing a daily affirmations book, like the Women's Bible or the Daily Affirmations Bible, like the Witch's Bible, the Witch's Zodiac, whatever almanac type thing you want to do. This will help you. I think that reading a book is helpful, but reading from an app on a daily basis that has like maybe a daily notification, that will definitely be helpful for some of you, and is definitely going to keep you on your P's and Q's, because you have no reason not to read the positivity coming from that notification. Sometimes it's not always based on your zodiac. Sometimes you just need to hear something nice. Do you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just want to hear something nice. The dark moon is spend time with contemplating and meditation in order to seek greater understanding of yourself and those around you. If you are in a period of meditation, or you would like to plan a period of meditation, let's see. Oh, the dark moon is on January 21st. So if you are planning on being in a dark moon mood, or if you have some spell workings or petitions or some prayer work that you're planning to do, you can plan for the dark moon on the 21st of January, okay? Oh, the full moon is on January 6th. I didn't realize it was that close. So with it being 5 days away, you definitely want to make sure that whatever you're planning, whatever your petitions are, whatever your candles are, waters, crystals, whatever you're putting in your window, please make sure you know what lunar cycle it is. Again, this goes partly back to the planning, and having an almanac or an app will definitely help you with that. The moon in Aries is asking you to remain sensitive to others and to avoid confrontation. If you can be kinder with your words and more choice with your words, this will definitely benefit you. I've definitely come across this where saying less was definitely going to be more, but me being Libra, Cancer, that was not going to work. But what I'm saying to you is sometimes being concise, and if you have nothing else to say, don't say it at all, is an old adage. But also a great way to end a conversation you're not interested in is to say thank you and walk away. Thank you. Oh, but thank you. And just like that, and then just walk away. That could definitely be beneficial. I recommend you implement that strategy. In addition to ending a conversation, let's talk about how to start one. Let's talk about when you walk into a room, you can say good morning. It doesn't cost you anything. It's free. Good morning. Good afternoon. Thank you. And just keep it pushing. It's very cut and paste, copy and paste with the manners and all those things, but it definitely will be helpful, and I definitely encourage you, if this is something in your chart that you need to be paying mind to, definitely go for it. Next we have the Taurus. Okay, now is the time to focus on finances and practical matters. Taurus, you have been in trouble with me since the beginning. Taurus is always going through some shit. I don't know what it is with Taurus, but like, they don't listen. If you have Taurus in your chart, I'm sorry, but something about them not being on the financial, I don't know what it is. Like, I think I have to do more astrological research on this, but something about Taurus not being financially well off at this time, I don't know what it is. Maybe they just have to work a little bit harder because of that bullheaded mentality, because they don't have time for distractions. I'm giving you strength. Full moon. Okay, time to relax, recharge, and replenish your inner strength. After the holidays, I think that it can be a little hard to refresh and reset and like clean our house and purge our closet and all those things. But we definitely want to make time to like start over, right? We want to like put out some water, cut some fresh flowers, make sure that we are going through with any type of rituals and routines. And if we haven't started any, of course, the New Year is always a great starting stop point. But January 6th is this coming Friday. That's as good as any other day. So I definitely encourage you to do that, okay? When I go through to the moon in Gemini, stress may be an issue during this time. No shit. Gemini is always going through it. Like, Gemini is so two-faced and, like, putting things on the back burner. Like, when one side of their personality can't handle something, the other one steps in, but then, like, the issue hasn't actually been dealt with, so that it piles up. This is a constant issue for people in Gemini, but it's an issue for everybody who does not deal with their issues from the fore with the truest of intentions, and they might not be doing it on purpose. It's not a malicious thing. It's not an evil thing. It's not a stupid thing. It's just the facts, right? If you are pouring from an empty cup, how can you cope with the consequences and the full weight of what is actually happening? Did Sasha move on from our relationship? Baby. Let's ask the pendulum. Okay, Natalia. Did Sasha move on from our relationship? Can I get an answer to that question? How long ago was this? I need a timeline. Because the pendulum is asking for more information, Natalia. Did Sasha move on from our relationship? I need a little bit more. It's asking for more information. Can I get another timeline on that? Was this recent? 3 weeks we started to, okay. Pendulum, can I get an answer? Did Sasha move on from Natalia's relationship? I'm getting a no. Okay. I'm getting a no, they didn't move on. Let me ask if they're ready to be back with you. That's the more important question. So is Sasha ready to be back with Natalia? Can I recalibrate this pendulum to answer? Are they ready to come back? Are they ready to come back to Natalia? All right, so I'm getting a very mild yes. Intuition is telling me, are they seeing someone else or are they talking to someone else? Don't worry about anyone else. Worry about yourself. And I'm going to say it to you like this, okay? When you go reach out to this person, change your approach. Change your approach. Spirit is asking you to be gentler with your mannerism and your verbiage, with your word choices, and to change your approach so as to be listening and receiving, not to be giving orders, doing your alpha bullshit. That's what Pendulum is saying. That's what Spirit is saying. And you don't need to be worried about who else they're talking to. That's not your business. Your business is your own self. Your business is your own self, your relationship with Sasha, and not anyone else. So I'm not going to answer that question. And it's not relevant. If you love this person and they clearly love you, it will work for the best. Don't worry about who they're talking to, okay? And I give you that in the best and strongest love, okay? All right. Thank you for asking. I hope that does help. Be gentler. Be gentle. Gentle, okay? All right, Sagittarius. Be prepared to be an adaptable plans as you have laid many that take an unexpected course. I would, yes, reach out to them. Reach out to them and be very gentle. You reach out to them. You reach out to them and be very gentle. Okay. All right. Be prepared to be adaptable as plans that you have laid may have taken an unexpected course. This happens to everyone, right? But specifically in this energy, it'll be something stupid like a permit got forgotten or a signature wasn't signed, a date was missing on a form. Maybe you thought, like this happened to me last week where I purchased a ticket and I thought I purchased my to-go and return ticket, but I was looking for my confirmation email, and it turns out my ticket was never purchased. I had to purchase it again. I was never charged the first time, but the point is my flight did not exist because I never purchased it. Like my credit card or something in the website logarithm kicked me out, and I thought, oh yeah, I totally bought a ticket to Miami, and I didn't. So be on your P's and Q's, check your paperwork. Again, having a calendar and a journal will definitely help you. Okay, that will always help you to have a journal, have something written down. Just make sure you go over everything with a fine-tooth comb at all times. Like, I even moved into this new place, and they haven't asked me for renter's insurance. Where I live in America, we have mandatory renter's insurance. This place has not told us that, which I know is the law. But, you know, again, they're not being forthcoming, so I have to do the paperwork. I have to be vigilant. So I'm going to move forward with that. Here I am, Libra. Avoid making serious decisions and instead focus on creating harmony within your relationships. I absolutely agree with this. I am focused on myself at this time. Of course, I have a website that I work very hard on, making sure that everyone is getting, like, not scammed, right? But also, I'm not like committing to anything that is going to be overly taxing. I have a strategy, I have a plan, I have certain things that I'm working on, and I don't think I'm going to add anything else to the plate this year. I have 3 major things that I'm working on, and that's what I'm going to do, and I know what they are. And of course, I'm married, so I have to make time for my spouse and partner, but you know, he can take care of himself. You know, I hope that does make sense. I do have here Moon and Scorpio. Negative attitudes and fiery arguments are possible at this time, Scorpio. So channel your energies into positive physical activities like decorating and gardening. Definitely be gentle. Scorpio, it's very easy to get angry. It's easy to do, but I want you to just be harmonious, be gentle, be kind to yourself. Maybe you need an outlet and a hobby. And sometimes your hobby cannot be another person. To find out where they are, what they're doing, and just immediately tell them about your day. You know, in Pokemon, when like you play Pokemon and like you're walking through the forest and another Pokemon trainer locks eyes with you, and then it does that and then you're automatically in a battle. That's you, Scorpio. That's this card. So it's asking you not to be like someone in the woods just looking for a fight. Like, definitely find something to do first. If you have a long commute home, and maybe the thing to do is park your car, go for a walk, and then go inside your house, right? Find ways to partition and separate work from pleasure, as well as, you know, people who make you angry, your friends, your coworkers. Your coworkers are not your friends. That's a separate video. But your coworkers are never your friends. Coworkers are coworkers, and if it works out well, and maybe you get 1 or 2 friends out of it, that's great. But every coworker is not your friend. I don't recommend you just go around getting people's phone numbers to be your friend. Why? Because you're there to do a job. And Scorpio, you were assigning this to people like they're there to do a job, they're there to service me, they're here to hear me out. Since they're home when I get home, they have to listen to me. No. Your roommate is your roommate, your spouse is your spouse, your child is your child. They're not your soundboard. You have to find some other catharsis. There's so many therapy services that are free now, that are free online. You don't even have to leave. You can just do it from your phone, right? But it's very important that I discuss that with you because that's the energy that I'm getting from this card. Okay. Moon and Capricorn, put aside emotional concerns and focus on achieving or increasing financial security. I would recommend to everybody that you definitely get a 2nd or 3rd job or do a side hustle, even if it's per diem, on call. If it's decluttering and doing Facebook Marketplace for a bit, I want you to definitely go into this energy of I have too much stuff. And in the journey of purging these things, like, what's that, Marie Kondo, does it bring me joy? And having an emotional attachment of I want it and I like the way it looks is not bringing you joy. Actually think. That Marie Kondo, she definitely has some interesting ideas on Japanese philosophy. Eastern people have a completely different idea of what space and time are supposed to be doing. Okay. So when I also discuss this, I want you to know that I am listening to you. I am paying attention to you. Your concerns are valid, right? But that can't stop you from making money and from being successful, from being prosperous, from being successful. Your priority should be parenting and running your household. If that's your world, right? Your priority should be yourself and your household, stability and consistency. And again, like I just said, if there's some type of therapy that you might be needing, you can book an actual therapy session with a therapist. You can go to a spiritual consultant like myself on my website. But it's not necessarily anything to be ashamed of, to be emotionally overwhelmed. Capricorn, you're just in your feelings constantly, and for the last several years you have had this string of bad luck, and it's not going to stop. But again, being emotionally taxed can be difficult, but I want you to be financially set, okay? I want everyone to be successful. The moon in Leo. It's an important time to guard against being self-centered or over-opinionated or pushy. I definitely agree with this. You definitely want to be more of a listener than a talker at this time. You want to, for certain, be calmer, be gentler, be calmer, even on an outward level. Even if you yourself don't believe it quite yet, just try to present that, and you'll see that things will start to fall in place. And maybe you need to take that time in the morning before your morning routine. Maybe wake up that extra 10 minutes early just to shower and meditate. That doesn't mean crossing your legs and arms and going om, but it can mean just drinking a glass of water and counting to 5. 5 things I see, 4 things I hear, 3 things I can smell, 2 things I can taste, and 1 thing I can, whatever the other one is, right? But like 5, 4, 3, 2, and then you go through the senses, and then you rotate them every day. That's a very helpful meditative exercise. All right, the Hare. It's an auspicious time for new beginnings. We're back at the beginning of this deck, but again, if you are thinking about starting something new, be cautious, be wary. Make sure you are looking and paying attention to all the paperwork and everything, all the documentations that you have. Make sure that every signature is there. Make sure that you are feeling confident enough to hop and skip and jump to different jobs. You knew you needed one, but maybe you need to have more than one back to back. You need a new roommate back to back, right? Don't be ashamed. Just keep it pushing. Everything is going to work out just fine. But I want you to be brave. I want you to be confident. I want you to know that that's okay. All right. So that's it for the lunar. I'm going to grab a new deck, and we're going to see what the next deck of cards has to say for the new year. Let's go ahead and let's see. We're going to read Isis. Let's see what Isis has to say. This is one of my favorite decks. It really is. She really is just so nice. It's so beautiful. Isis has just been on a whirlwind with me, especially with my journey that I'm going through. I am trying to have a baby, so wish me luck. And I wanted to, somebody messaged me. Acela contacted me, so I really miss him. Is Jarrett not contacting me because of someone? I don't understand. Are you asking? Okay. Estella, you're asking if Jarrett is talking to someone. Let's see. Estella, is Jarrett going to contact? Okay, and is Jarrett seeing someone else? Is Jarrett seeing someone else? Pendulum. He's seeing someone, but it's not a romantic way. It might be like he's like up under his mother or under an ex, but it's not like committed to them. It's hard to say if they're seeing someone because the pendulum doesn't distinguish between sexual relationships and emotional attachments. Okay? Sam, I know you did not just ask me if someone's going to call you tonight. Let me see. Someone else just asked me, Dudu, will Selwyn make an effort or try to reconcile with me? I don't understand. Why don't you try to reconcile with them? Why don't you try to reconcile with them? You're the third person to ask me that. You should reach out to them. You should take initiative and put that energy out there. If you are waiting for someone to contact you, you're putting the energy out there of desperation. That's not what I want for you. Um, Definitely want more for you. Okay. If you think he's moved on, then you should move on too. Is there something very specific and special about this person where you have to be hung up on them? I want you to be independent and indestructible. That's what I want. I don't want you to be hung up on anybody. This is my thing with the love readings, and maybe I'm different, maybe I'm even mean, but like you can't pour from an empty cup. If you're not fulfilled in yourself, if you're not sexy in your own self, how can you be fulfilled and sexy for anyone else? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Um, if you think they moved on, the best way to move on to another person is to get under someone else. You know what I'm saying? I hope that makes sense. Um, yeah, this is like not necessarily my pet peeve with tarot, but people are very like, are they gonna call me? Like, I want you to take initiative. If you want to speak to them, then you should speak to them. Don't sit in desperation. You should definitely reach out to them first. Okay? And I say that with the deepest respect because I want you to do well and I want you to be okay. And I want you to be fulfilled in your own self. I don't want you to be dependent on anyone else. And I give that to all my clients. I give that to all you guys. I don't want anyone to be dependent or codependent or anything. Okay? I hope I said that so nice. You need closure. Here's closure. In 2023, I'm going to be independent and indestructible. In 2023, I'm going to pour from a full cup. And in 2023, I'm going to receive what the universe has in store for me. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and move on to how I can move into the Isis energy. And I'll get back to some questions shortly, okay? Mother of life, nourishment of the golden grain mother. This is letting you know that it's time to nourish your own self, nourish your body. Definitely a lot of dietary restrictions come to mind with this card for some reason. I really hope that does make sense. I'd like to see that combined with some good, healthy sleeping habits as well as more water intake. Divine guardian, protection of the winged mother. When I see this card, I always think of like maternal wellness, health, if you have an archangel that you really like. But again, divine guardian doesn't have to be an angel. And we have to get away from this idea that the angel is a Christian deity, right? Angels are not necessarily Christian in nature. Think of the Anunnaki. If you've ever done research on Anunnaki, they are winged beings that were here from another time period. How can I expound upon this message? Okay, wings of Isis uniting with the angelic self. Again, great. So by asking the cards to send me another message of clarity, we have explained that the wings of Isis are here to embrace us. Again, this is a very feminine deck. So your divine feminine is in this deck. I use a separate deck for the divine masculine because that has just historically worked out very well for me. All right. When you have uniting with the angelic self, you are giving yourself permission to be awake, to be powerful, to go through the world without, there will be consequences, right? But without consequence spiritually, because you know that you have done the highest good for your highest self, the highest version of yourself, okay? Someone just asked me what's on my chin. It's a tattoo. My chin is tattooed. So when I have this here, what I want to do is expound further. Can I get another card? Talismans of potency and charging objects with power. All right, so when you are going through your journey and spiritual self, I discussed this earlier with you guys. I want to see some people wear their crystals. I want to see people put crystals in their pocket, in their car, in their purse. Be careful what crystals you put by your bed while you sleep, but I would even say if you're not sure, just put all your crystals away while you sleep so that you can just receive the dreams and messages as they come. So that your gut feelings are following you and joining you accordingly. When you have these sacred talismans of power, you are summoning and conjuring certain things. I did discuss earlier in my YouTube live that, like, with talismans of power, for example, like when you have Santa Claus, when you write your letter to Santa, you are writing a petition. That's a magical petition to Santa, to St. Nicholas, okay? When you put out the milk and cookies for Santa, you are giving an offering. That is an altar to Santa. Think. I have, in Puerto Rican culture, we have Tres Reyes, that is the three kings, okay? And for them, we put out straw for the camel and some, like, candies and pastries for the three kings, the three wise men, to come bring us candies in exchange, right? But that is an offering. That's an altar. Does that make sense? So when you are having these crystals charged and ready to go, you're having an offering for spirit. And a card just fell. All right, so this is the Queen of Heaven, blessed from the Divine Empress of the Skies. If you are looking for blessings and messages, you know, there are certain things that you just have to do. And I know that they say to be spiritual, you don't need money, but you do. You need a clean space, right? You need a cup of water on an altar. You need some crystals that you find beautiful. Don't worry about what the crystals mean. Please, please do not worry about what crystals mean. You do not have to go to a crystal shop and Google it. Happy New Year. You don't have to go to a crystal shop and Google absolutely everything. Do your research, read your books, right? Of course you watch YouTube videos and you see, but when you go into the shop, just be open. Open your third eye if you can and just receive love. If you go into your crystal shop or magical shop with true love, you will definitely find a crystal that is visually appealing to you. You're going to find crystals that are beautiful. Buy them, and then bring them home and then look them up. And, you know, if they have a little tag on them, that's great. Take a picture of the tag. Please don't Google the name of the stone in the store. Just buy it. You thought it was beautiful. That means it belongs to you. That means it's yours. And Spirit is saying it is not enough for an object to just be pretty. It must be beautiful. It must be absolutely gorgeous to you. So with Divine Mother, that's what she's saying. Like when you buy her crystals, when you buy crystals for yourself, because that's who she is. She's right here. Okay? It's something that is beautiful. It doesn't have to be something that is passing by. It doesn't have to be something that is just cute. If it's beautiful, please buy it. Another thing that I see blessing from the divine skies is if you are not receiving messages, you're not listening. Okay? So when you only are focused on the bad things, and I did all this spell work and I did all these prayers and I solstice to do these expensive ass tarot card reading, but then you didn't follow the directions that were given, girl, like, no, we need you to follow the directions. If you receive a message or you have a gut feeling, I want you to be receptive to that. Please receive messages. Okay, I have something here. I haven't come across a crystal shop. We'll definitely look out for one. Wonderful. It's great to hear. Can I ask about my love life in 2023? On my website, you can book a reading, but if you just want to ask one question, I can try to answer it if I have enough time. I have a lot of people in here, okay? I do private tarot card readings on my actual website. I don't DM. I don't send weird stuff. I just have a website. I have an actual website. I'm a professional tarot card reader. This is what I do. I also do readings live at special events, and I will be traveling the country, so keep an eye out for that as well, okay? Spirit, what is our next intended, oh my gosh, what is our next intended topic? Abundance of Sophis, stellar blessings from the goddess, and divine destiny of the divine warrior. Okay, so when I have these two cards, I'm feeling like, again, the dietary restrictions, like I discussed earlier, we definitely want to be careful with what we're eating. Some of you are thinking about taking up veganism or taking up vegetarianism. I will never tell somebody to be vegan or vegetarian, and here's why. I'm a survivor of food deprivation, and so if I see food that I enjoy, that I want to eat, in company that I enjoy, I will eat it. So I would say if you want to try it, or give it like a fair try, where you are trying to lose weight really quickly, or trying to be healthy, or do a cleanse for a month or 2 months or a week, go for it, please. But do not hurt yourself. Okay, I am not a dietitian. I am not a doctor. This is not medical advice. Moved to January in 2023 to United Emirates for a job. In 2023 to 2027, there will be another wave of plague. So I recommend that if you are going to move, you bear in mind that they might have some more health restrictions, not COVID. It'll be something else. Okay, but that's one of my predictions, that between 2023 and 2027 there will be another series of plagues. That's because of a planetary conjunction of 3 planets that are coming together. These planets have also overlapped with polio and Spanish flu. Just saying. Sorry. When I do see these together, it's letting me know that it's something long term with the food. Something long term with the food. Like, I need everyone to like wake up early and drink their water and wake up on time. Don't sleep in. If you do sleep in, I want you to wake up on time anyway, drink your water, meditate, and then lay back down, right? Like, there's something about sleeping in that results in spiritual stagnation, and even Buddhism and Taoism teach this. I'm not an Eastern theology vampire. That's one of my pet peeves, is that people in spiritual community, they just read Eastern medicine and then they spout a few words about Dharma and all types of chakra shit, and they don't know what the fuck they're talking about, but they have all these followers and they have all these likes, but they don't know what the fuck they're talking about because they have not internalized it. They have not gone on their spiritual journey. They're just here to regurgitate words that they read in a book, and then they get followers, but they don't actually believe that shit. Moving on. I'm sorry. I don't want to stagnate the reading. Let me go ahead and get another supporting card for this pile. The Lunar Queen, She of Celestial Crescent. Okay, so this card is all about timing, calendars, thinking it through. If you don't have a calendar, like a Monday through Friday calendar, or a calendar of, like a journal, like a Monday through Friday planner, please get one. Because the lunar calendar is asking you to pay attention to timing. So the full moon will be on January 6th in America. The dark moon will be on January 21st. Yes, the 21st. So I want you to definitely pay attention to the moon, the lunar cycles. Something about She of the Celestial Crescent. If you're working on something long term, I want you to be focused and at least give yourself twice a month to plan, go through paperwork, look through your receipts, look at vendors, make phone calls, at least twice a month. I want you to do that, okay? I think that will definitely be beneficial for you. It's not going to hurt you at all. It's only going to help you. Okay. Can I get some supporting arguments for this? Divine Sunchild, Blessings of the Sun Falcon. Okay. The moon and the sun working conjunct to make sure that you are feeling the fiery urge to follow your spiritual gut on things that you need to be doing and planning. You need to be taking the time during the day to implement the plans, and at night to think about them. Okay? That's what these cards are saying. So for 2023, please make plans day and night. You will have a regimen, you will have a schedule, but writing it down is going to stop any type of mind racing. That's going to keep you focused. It's going to keep you thinking about things that you need to think about, and make time for the distractions when it's their time. Like little, like, oh, let's go to the movies and come over for dinner and shit. You're gonna have to plan that. I'm sorry. You cannot just do things at the drop of a dime if you want to be successful in 2023. Someone just asked if they were moving. In these comments, someone asked if they were moving. I'm like, you better make plans, because shit is happening in the world regardless of whatever you think you want to do. Think other things are happening besides whatever you have in your mind. Like, whatever you have planned, other things are happening. All right. Oh my goodness. So much to say. High Priestess, mysteries revealed in the eyes of Isis. Again, I was just saying about third eye chakras and crystals, right? When you do these meditations, it is asking you to carve out a sacred space. If you want to have a sacred space. You need to enchant that area, enchant that room, enchant that corner, enchant the desk. If you want to have a baby, enchant your bed, enchant your bedroom. If you want money, you need to enchant your wallet, enchant your workplace, your work desk. Any type of shoes or uniform you wear, enchant it. If you have a computer where you're doing job applications, enchant every application. If you are waiting for money to come to you and you're doing a money spell and you put like money or like pennies in your candle, if you haven't enchanted the pennies, then what are you doing? Okay? Mysteries revealed in the eyes of Isis. Again, besides ritual, we are getting into something like a big secret being revealed. So if you feel like you suspect, if you're looking for some dirt, you're gonna find it. Everyone does. Everyone knows that, right? But we want to be in the energy of receiving good things. Okay? If you find out something negative and it doesn't serve you, it doesn't pertain to you, or if it already happened, do not seek revenge at this time. I would recommend that you wait till you see one of my like personal zodiac videos or book a reading with me specifically. That will definitely help you, okay? But I would want to see some follow through on this holy goddess energy, okay? Mysteries revealed. So if you need something, you need to enchant it. Enchant it into reality. If you don't know how to enchant things, just say a quick prayer, and you can read the book of Psalms. That the entire book of Psalms in the Bible is all spells. So that would make sense for you. Okay, let's pull another. Life restored, priestess in the phoenix. Spirit of Isis, triumph of the goddess. So these two cards combined. Oh, serpent of fire, priestess of serpent sisterhood. Okay, so these three explain to me that something great and vicious is about to happen. So when we have life restored, the priestess of the phoenix, it lets you know, of course, that you're putting an end to a very brutal and abusive cycle. And I hope that this is reality. I hope this is true. Our second card here is the Spirit of Isis, Triumph of the Goddess. This is something that was divinely planned, that was always going to happen. Do not give up on your dreams. Do not give up on your hopes, because they had to take away distractions and make space for something wonderful that's happening. Serpent of Fire, Serpent of Sisterhood. Fire is destructive, but also creative. The energy of Loki is also in this card. Loki is the god of chaos, but also the god of fire. So without chaos, there cannot be any creative energy. So we have the fire phoenix, we have the phoenix here, life restored, and then we have our Spirit of Isis, triumph of the goddess, right? Ra is the sun god, but the goddess is triumphing because she's using fire. Does that make sense? Triumphing is not a word. Triumphant, because she's in charge. So this is the divine goddess having made space for something wonderful for you, and I hope that does resonate and feel good. It should feel good. If it doesn't feel good, I'm so sorry. But I really would like to see where this is coming from, because that sounds really powerful. It sounds very traumatic. It sounds like there's some depression afterwards, because like you're not really sure necessarily how to react to it. What do you do with this new information? Now you have less distraction. You have more space. Now what do you do? Let's go ahead and try to make sure that we make space for positive things, not for old things, not for stagnation, not for things that were convenient, not for things that were familiar and comfortable. We need to put some fire on that. We need to burn some things away and make sure that we have plenty of wonderful, nice, kind, beautiful things to make room for, so that when we are in the energy of coming into this new year, we are ready to receive it. Does that make sense? Okay, let's move on. I have here Goddess of 10,000 Names, Endless Emanations of the Priestess, Temple of Black Obsidian, Dark Healing Chamber. I discussed earlier people buying crystals. If you haven't purchased any crystals, please do so. If you don't believe in crystals and you just like know what they are, you find them beautiful, then find something beautiful that symbolizes something to you, because the goddess is trying to communicate to you, and she wants to be acknowledged, and she wants to know that you took the time to make a cup of tea for her. right? She wants to know that you took the time to really make sure that you bought a crystal for her, you bought her a beautiful scarf, a shawl. You're going to put this in your car, you're going to put this in your workplace, you're going to put it in your pocket. I will want to make sure that you are, absolutely, I'll make sure. I want to make sure that you are prepared, because black obsidian is not a gentle stone. It's not really like pretty, it's not like cute, but it gets shit done. And that's what the 10,000 names of the goddess are asking you to do, okay? Truths unveiled and the revelation of Isis. Okay, that makes perfect sense, because this is the truth serum, this black obsidian, and it makes people talk. It makes you see with clarity. It's a great grounding stone. It makes you see with no biases. It allows you to, again, this is not you buying the stone and saying. You have to meditate on it. You have to enchant it. You need to make sure that whatever you are buying, you are enchanting it. In my previous section here, I said if you like beautiful things, you need to enchant them. Like, they want to be acknowledged. They want to be absolutely worshipped. These spaces that we carve out here in the spiritual, we take the time to make the space special for these cards so that they know they are respected. And I want you to take the time to respect yourself, because the truth is unveiled. Something very uncomfortable is happening between November and March. And March is going to be the high point for a lot of people. And I've seen this before. It happened a lot of signs. It's going to be very rocky. It's going to be very uncomfortable, very bumpy. But these are information that you need to know. So you need to clear space for things that you need to know, for things that you need to receive. Okay? And I hope that makes sense. I would like to pull more cards. Temple of Lapis Lazuli, the goddess of the ancient skies. Lapis Lazuli is one of my favorites. It's absolutely gorgeous. I have it here in this pendulum. This is a Merkaba-based pendulum. And it's going crazy in the camera right now. And I have some over here as well. So this is an actual lapis lazuli. And you can see it looks just like the card. Mine has gold inclusions in it. You won't always see that, but you can see that they took the time to carve out some alchemical shapes into the card. Okay? Lapis lazuli is wonderful. It's great for spiritual protection, spiritual guarding. Of course, I read tarot professionally, so I have a stone like this at all times. I am thinking about selling jewelry on my website, but I don't know. I feel like jewelry and stuff is all taken up. Follow this card up. The Pillar of Light, Descent of the Star of Isis. Descent of the Star of Isis is it's like the coming of Christ, right? There's someone here on this earth who is incarnated as Isis, but she's too big to be one person, right? Think about it. The magnitude of the goddess that size, and of the magnitude of her worship cannot be contained in one person. So in my eyes, the gods and goddesses have to be split up into the population. The same way we are born of light and we come from the light. The light is so big. We are born of light, but there's 8 billion of us. That's how big the light is. And there's still not enough space. Does that make sense? And if you listen to Neil deGrasse Tyson, how he talks about how big space is, you will understand what this card is saying. It's telling us that there's so many... Someone is asking me, are you more aligned with polyagronous or xenotype? I don't know what those words are. I would like to see you acknowledge that sometimes the goddess is not one person. Like, if she's talking to you, she's allowed to talk to more than one person at a time. There's no way she can be inside of one person. I don't know where that came from. That has nothing to do with lapis lazuli. But that's what I said, because that's how I was feeling. So let's go ahead and see if we can complement this card. Proper burial for freedom. Sacrifice to Osiris, the Lord of the Dead. Again, we talked about getting rid. This is a great New Year's resolution card, right? Because it is asking us exactly to do what we've planned, right? We want to get rid of distractions to make space for wonderful and good things. The god Osiris is very fearsome, very powerful, but certainly demands respect. And if you are in this energy, you are going to be asked to make a sacrifice if it hasn't been made for you. A sacrifice is something that you love and you want to keep, but you know that it's necessary to get rid of it. Okay? So a lot of people think that they lost their job and how the fuck is that a sacrifice? I got fired. Or it was just so toxic I had to leave. But you needed to make space for something else. And it's important to acknowledge that out loud because that's an important aspect of like what the gods and goddesses have us here to do, to learn a lesson. The flower of life, divine creativity and manifestation. Again, flower of life is demanding that you pay attention to your surroundings, your spiritual and sexual self. This is a very sexual card. This is a very feminine card. It's a very, I guess, the womb. There's something about starting over and giving birth that makes you wonderful and makes you absolutely amazing. Stay true and be in your own power. Osiris and Isis, the Lord and Lady of Divine Authority. So we just pulled an Osiris card, right? So the Osiris card, the Flower of Life card, I'll just pull it from the top. The Osiris card, the Flower of Life, right? And then we have stay true and be in your own power. I would like you to definitely acknowledge that this is a painful process, giving birth. You think the woman is in pain. Imagine the baby. Like, this is definitely something that is worth explaining and worth exploring. You have to find out where this lies in your own life, and if it doesn't lie in your life now, be on the lookout for it in the new year. I do like monthly zodiacs, and I do provide individual tarot card readings, so I can certainly help you out with that. Could what be a person? Somebody named Patty. I'd like to know definitely how this fits in your life, stay true and be in your own power. What is your power? What is your superpower? It have to be your career. I know a woman who's a professional mom. Everywhere she goes, children love her, children adore her, and that's literally her entire personality. The brother in darkness, overcoming negative energy with feminine power. We are all very familiar with this. This has a lot to do with like the feminist movement. Don't even get me started on the other stuff. But we want to make sure that we are acknowledging our shadow selves, our shadow work. Know when you get angry, know what makes you angry, know what triggers you. And don't advertise that, don't internalize it, but just know how to cope with it, know how to deal with it, know how to use the anger as a weapon, know when to put the weapon away, and that will definitely help you throughout your life. I would like to see some people put some back into it. Like, you have a little backbone. Like, stand your ground. Like, you said what you said. It wasn't a question. It wasn't a compromise. You weren't arguing. You said it. I'm not arguing shit. I told you. And that should be your attitude on some things. Okay? Let's see. Ancient Power Mysteries. The Heart. Hear the rattle of Isis playing. Here we have a sistrum. Let's talk about the power of music very quickly. I love music. I think we can all acknowledge that music has power. I think that we can all acknowledge that magic is in music. We definitely know that words do, but imagine when you put it to a beat and then people are repeating it, and then you have hundreds of people repeating it. For example, let's talk about that song, I'm in Love with the Coco, right? You have millions of people knowing the words to They're in Love with Cocaine. And that's a powerful spell. Why? Because we have millions of people, hundreds of thousands of people dying of fentanyl poisoning. That's very dark, right?
but it's the truth. So when we have a song that brings people together and makes them happy, think about, Catholic churches and why they do music first, because it raises the energy, and they sing about God's love and openness, his unconditional love, the reception of true love, God's presence. That's a spell, that's magic. And so when we have a card like this, that's what it's saying. I would like to acknowledge that there's a time and a place for certain types of music. Sometimes music doesn't need a reason or an explanation. It's yours. You want to listen to it, you go right ahead. And you don't have to explain yourself or your musical preferences. You don't need approval. It just is what it is. Initiation. Spiritual testing of Ra and Lady Isis. Alright, let's look at some initiation. Can I get some support for this, please? Healing the Divine Masculine. Okay. We have initiation and then healing the Divine Masculine. Again, acknowledge your shadow self. Whatever the Divine Masculine is to you. I just spoke about Catholicism, right? There's a lot of Divine Masculine energy in there, but we want to make sure that we know where it is and where it's coming from, whatever that means for you. Let's go ahead and get Osiris Rises and a companion. Can I get a companion explanation, please? Lady of the Stars, Priestess of Sirius. Alright, Sirius is a constellation. I would like to acknowledge how different these cards are, but I did ask for a supporting argument, right? So we cannot heal the Divine Masculine without using a calendar, astrology, the planetary signs, the lunar calendar. There's a lunar aspect. I just read a lunar deck earlier. We want to make sure that this is making sense. We want to make sure that, of course, before we go into heal the Divine Feminine, what tools do we need? We need astrology. We need the stars. We need the moon. We need the zodiac. We need the sidereal zodiac, not just the tropical zodiac, right? I think that something like downloading an app might be helpful for some of you trying to heal your Divine Masculine. You just need something concrete to see. Something with your eyes. Something daily. I did discuss this earlier as well. I guess that's kind of the theme of the day where I'm like repeating myself, but that's what I'm getting. Can I get the key? Oh, Key of Life, spinning the Ankh. Okay. So with the Key of Life, what we're doing is we are unlocking something magical, something beautiful, something that is in store for us. And we 100% want to make sure that we are in acknowledgement of everything wonderful and happening to us at the time of success. The key to success isn't necessarily a physical thing, obviously, but we want to be open and receptive to knowing when the keys and opportunities are. There are times where it's hard to acknowledge when wonderful things are happening to us because we're so bogged down with the negative. We want to focus on that, but we can't. We have to be focused on the opportunity. Keys of Life are definitely making sure that we are 100% in alignment with the positives that are happening to us and taking advantage of those opportunities that are coming afore. Rising Sun, the Divine Solar Child is reborn. The Divine Sun is definitely letting you know that you have given birth to something amazing, out of pain, out of tribulation, out of vitriol, and it will be something wonderful and good that comes of all this pain and suffering, because it will have tempered you into being a stronger parent, being a stronger employee, being better on running your business, running your household, not into the ground, but wanting to make sure that you are definitely loving every minute of it, including the painful parts. Okay? The Cartouche and Divine Names of Power. I'd like to see some of you study a little bit more. If you feel the need to study or like you need to read a book, definitely do so. I did discuss downloading apps, but watching YouTube videos and taking notes is also just as well. Maybe there's a subscription or a website that you want to get a hold of. I have actually like a calendar that is full of information. It's just January through December, but it's full of like information and facts on there and things I would not have necessarily thought of at the time. I would like to... Oh, let's take a look for some questions. All right, let's ask our pendulum. Something that we would have to give up that we love dearly. Okay? Will I meet some good people at my new school? It's all up to the energy you put out there. All right? So, what I recommend to you, Addison, is that you put good, receptive energy out there. So, for myself, I read tarot cards, right? But I don't just put the energy out there to make money. I put the energy out there that I'm the best reader for you and you're the best client for me, right? So you don't just want to make friends. You want to make sure that, they're going to be fruitful. They're going to be useful to you, even if it's only for a time. But let's go ahead and ask the pendulum. Will Addison meet new good people at her school? Provided the advice that I've just given her. Can I get a stronger answer for the camera, please? And we got a clockwise yes. So there you go. I'd like for you to be more sure of yourself and be more focused on your studies, for sure. And the pendulum is saying yes to that. Be focused on your studies 100%. And then additionally, from there's going to be some opportunities or internships or club meetings or something. You being successful will definitely be more fruitful. Can I get another intuition, insight? Nope. Okay, it stopped. So that's the answer to that. All right, let's pull more cards. The power over 7 Scorpions, the power to conjure lower vibrational forces. Again, this is a very dark card, but we want to be in touch with our shadow side. We want to do dark workings with our shadow selves, and definitely make sure that we are absolutely in tune with our darker half, our divine masculine, our divine feminine. We know our light side, most of us, but do we know our darker side? How do you get angry? What makes you angry, and how do you deal with that? How can you make that energy for anger and pain and make that into a weapon? Okay, fortify that, temper that a little bit, adds a little bit more discipline. The miracle of Isis, miraculous healing of the goddess. A lot of terrible things happen to humanity and to people, but I'd like to see you turn that into something fruitful and beautiful. The Chariot of Ascension, spiritual work from the higher initiate. If you have a higher calling or something that you are being called to spiritually that you really enjoy and really like doing or watching, you have permission to do so. For me, this card is always telling me hey, you need to expand. You need to talk about more stuff. You need to give more information. You can't just keep the information to yourself. Whenever I draw this card, I'm told to tell more. I understand that's not easy for people to understand, but when you are a psychic, professional psychic person, it can be heavy on you. And there have been many readers that I wanted to go to, and they drop off. They don't read tarot anymore. They're focused on their personal journeys, their households, and their parenting, and that's totally okay. But I want to make sure that I'm explaining what this card means to me. Okay? So the Chariot of Ascension, work of the higher initiate. It doesn't necessarily mean you're not a higher initiate, but this just might not be, you're not a professional reader, more than likely, right? But I want you to know that it is taxing. I get maybe 4 hours of sleep a night, if it's that, because my mind is constantly receiving messages and people talking to me and dead people talking to me, and the cards are always doing something. And my mother's passed away, so she's talking to me, so it's like a constant thing, right? But the work of the higher initiate, that's what this card is saying. The Eye of Horus, awakening the divine perception. I just said this, right? So if you have any type of third eye training you want to do, or Merkaba awakening, some spiritual meditation, some goddess alignment, God alignment. If you're looking for a particular pantheon to explore this year or this summer, definitely go for it. It will definitely feel very good. Enjoy the journey. It's not about the destination, okay? There's always more gods, more pantheons to discover. There's always new experiences. I encourage everyone to like go to like a convention, a witchy convention, a tarot card show, a crystal convention, and meet members of your community. You know, there's usually every state has like a Facebook page where like they acknowledge, hey, this is our state, this is our community, we should get together as spiritually aligned and awakened people. And that doesn't always work because everybody doesn't have the same schedule, but with this card, it will definitely be a reality. I'm going to move my camera because my sun went down and now my lighting is weird. Da-da-da. Okay. All right, I lost the sun, so there you go. Now we are cooking with oil. Okay. So with these next cards, let's go ahead and just run them through. I have a few left in this deck. So we have Enter the Chamber of Healing, healing with the Lady Isis. This has a lot to do with birth and like the womb, but also with your spirit as a person, the foundation of yourself, the person who is unconscious when you are asleep, right? Like this is what this card is talking about. The Divine Healing Chamber is asking you to acknowledge like your meditations and what you are doing while you're sleeping, okay? There's a big reason why before big decisions we say, I'll sleep on it. It's this here. All right, magic and ritual, creating sacred space. With creating a sacred space, you are enchanting your area. If you want to have a baby, you, again, want to enchant the room where you're going to raise the baby. If you are looking for more jobs, new money, you definitely want to enchant like your workspace, your chair, get your crystals, make sure that that's all making sense for you. Spray like any type of like smells that you like. You want to enchant the area. You don't just want to say, I wish for this thing and not enchant it. You want to enchant the spaces that you're hoping to create with the intention of this is what I'm going to do. It doesn't necessarily have to be a spell either. It's just an enchantment. Okay? Divine Sisterhood, community of the spiritual sisters, brothers of light. So reach out to your community, go to those shows. I just said this. You want to make sure that you are reaching out to your community if you are feeling lonely, because there is somebody out there who has a message for you. It could be on these social media platforms, but it's also a matter of making sure that you understand you're not alone and that there's positivity in the community despite you wanting to be solitary sometimes. It could mean just interacting with some wonderful folks online on a Facebook page, but again, those groups are there for a reason. The Pyramid of Light, step your vibration deeper into love. Let me get a complementing card, the Scales of Balance. Of course, that makes perfect sense. We want to step into love because we want to pour from a full cup. You don't want to pour from an empty cup and say that you love somebody. That's not going to work. You need to be able to make sure that you are fulfilled as a person before you say you want to be in a relationship. Soul retrieval, deep soul healing with the Goddess. Again, this goes back to our card of the Divine Healing Chamber. This makes sure that we all know exactly what we are getting into, what we are thriving for, striving for, shooting for, right? But there's nothing that we can do without going to sleep, astral projections, knowing our higher self, those type of things, right? Sometimes just getting good sleep, you know, there's a reason why 1/3 of our life is spent sleeping. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's because of things like this that really push us to being, like, the higher elevated self, okay? The Temple of Carnelian, enter the fierce belly of Sekhmet. Can I get a supporting argument for this card, please? The Dark Mysteries, enter the Chamber of the Dark Goddess. We just discussed this, okay? We discussed crystals. We discussed the Healing Chamber. We discussed the God is asking us to protect our highest level of ourself. We want to make sure that this is definitely going to resonate with everything and every aspect of our lives, okay? So when we have this card, we are asking for things that are hard to hear and hard to listen to. We're asking them to be revealed to us, okay? I would like to see you be accepting of the reality of the world around you. Please do not be in denial. It will only hurt you more. But you need to use this knowledge as a weapon, as to say, oh, that happened? Oh, that's some bullshit. And then just ignore it and keep it moving, okay? The Knot of Isis. Energetic stabilization with the Buckle of the Beloved. Energetic stabilization. And how can we balance those energies? Okay. Past life, present power. The many spiritual faces of you. Past life, present power is definitely asking you to acknowledge, your shadow self, your past lives, but the lessons that you've learned before are coming to help you now. See? Okay? Lessons that you learned before are helping you now. And then finally, the Portal of Light. She glides on wings through space and time. Goddess Isis is definitely one of those goddesses that is timeless. She's huge. And if we are being reincarnated with the goddess, she's in more than one person. Again, her magnitude, her size, her magnificence as a goddess, it's not enough to be in one person. She's in more than one person. All the gods are. We are all part of the light. We will return to the light, but it's just too much light and energy for it to be in one person. Okay? And that's what this card is saying. I did read quite a bit today. The Portal of Light is one of my favorite cards. It is really nice. Again, third eye energy, very strong. Merkaba or Akashic Records, just anything to do with the light and magic is just absolutely beautiful to me. And I love this card. And I really love this deck. This is the Isis Oracle deck. And I really hope that you all did enjoy the live. I read from 2 decks. I also read from this moon deck here, and they both were completely different, but again, it all doesn't have to be the same. Join me next time for the live. Thank you all so much for contributing, asking questions. Feel free to ask me more questions on my live, and also on my website, solsticepsychicreadings.com. See you guys.